every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Hello and good morning. Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free on Rumble. We're now on YouTube. We're now on X. Anywhere that you want to watch videos, that's where we're at. To put it simply, I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Kenny Kidd. Good morning, Kenny.
Hi.
How's it going, Kenny?
Good morning.
Good morning. Just a reminder, you may have seen the social media posts and different things. If you've, I don't want to sound rude here, but unless you've been living under a rock, you don't really know about the Crash documentary on Netflix. It's a tragic accident that happened in Strongsville. Dominic Russo, a young man who passed away in that car accident, his sister, Christine, we're going to play an interview that I had with her a few days ago at 11:05 today. Gives a little bit of background on different things, and they're trying to raise some money. I'll tell you, that's a strong family. That's a very strong family, and yeah, you'll hear more. That's at 11:05. Today, we're just a few things we're going to talk about. Donald Trump at G7. I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, man, you're really missing it. He's doing. He's
the boss.
He is the boss. Dare I say, shades of 2016 Donald Trump at the G7. Yeah, he's doing great. Bernie Moreno, he's asking all the right questions. We're going to talk about that. And a local company shutting down.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll tell you that and more. And then also a decision has been made on the Cleveland flock cameras. So it's going to get very interesting for the city of Cleveland. And we'll see exactly what that decision is. They decided not to extend it. So we'll go through what that means and what it could possibly mean, because Cleveland's unpredictable and you never know what Cleveland's going to do. So that and more. And just a reminder, this is the Jake Underwood Show. And if you want to watch, see what we're doing, we're on X, we're on YouTube, we're also on Rumble, and probably going to expand to even more here soon. But, we teased it a little bit. We gotta talk about President Trump at G7. I mean, it's really good. It's really good. There's the viral clip of him walking around the table, and he just stops at the head of the table, and he goes, "I'm the boss." And he goes back. Everybody, they kind of laugh, and they laugh a little bit. But the big thing, because now I want to remind everyone. Because, the big thing was that, he's compromised by Israel. President Trump is. That was the big rumor. That's what everybody was saying. That's what they could stand on their little soapboxes after they get done watching Candace.
Yeah, he's a puppet.
Yep, he's nothing but a puppet. I miss the old Trump. Now, I will say this. He is a little different than he was that first term, that first administration. I think he's a little more seasoned. I think he went in. He knows what he's doing now. That's what this is. So we're not going to see him freak out or react as quickly as he normally would. Why? Well, because now he understands the way that it works. It's more, I don't want to say methodical, but he's playing the game. He's playing the political game. That's what we're seeing from President Trump. Well, yesterday at G7, he was asked. He was asked about Israel and, just the way that because, there are the reports that are coming out that Benjamin Netanyahu's he's not a huge fan. He's not a big fan of the whole peace talks and the ceasefires and everything. This clip here is about a minute long. This is President Trump. Let me make sure I'm set up on my end here. We'll see. We have tech issues sometimes. So we'll see here. But this is President Trump talking about how he thinks Israel could do better and they need to do a better job.
And you'll see that when you see the agreement, but it's appropriate that we release the agreement. And we did send a copy to Israel, by the way. They've been a good partner. Again, I think they could do better with respect to Hezbollah. I'm not saying they shouldn't protect themselves. I'm saying when two drones are shot into the desert and drop harmlessly, you don't have to knock down buildings in Beirut. They could behave better. And frankly, they could do a better job. I love them as a partner. They were terrific. But they could do a much better job with Hezbollah. On that, I don't think they're doing well. And I feel very bad for Lebanon's been, it was a great culture. They had the professors, the doctors, the lawyers. It was an incredible culture, maybe the highest in the Middle East for years and years, centuries. And for the last 50, 60 years, they have been just trashed. They have been living in hell.
And to be fair, I know a lot of people, a lot of the critics, I should say, against President Trump. That was one of the things not Israel, but Lebanon. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things I heard, and we've had people call in here that they have family over there, and they were pretty upset about it. They're going, look, what is he doing? Why is he allowing this? They were pretty upset about it. And you know what? I understand that. I understand that frustration, and President Trump clearly does too when he's talking about Hezbollah. And look, you shoot down 2 drones, you shouldn't be blowing up a building. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's anybody who could disagree with that. I know that we like to get wrapped up in context of things that are out of context and, get wrapped up in it. And, we hear things on the radio, so we want to run with it, even though that's also out of context. But the bottom line is the saying is an eye for an eye, not an eye for a limb. and that's what we were seeing from Israel with this. So I understand why President Trump's going like, come on, man. What are we doing? You're not handling this well. And listen, there's a lot of Americans who agree with that.
There's a lot of people all over the world who agree with that. Not just Americans. There's probably a lot of Israelis that agree with that.
But, to be fair, because I know everybody likes watching like the big podcasts and all that. I like watching the little ones that are in these different regions just to hear what they're saying, because it's really easy to find the mainstream narrative. You can find it anywhere, whether it's Fox. If you want to hate it, you know where to watch it. It's CNN and it's MSNBC. I should point to the left when I do that. And if you want to be in support of anything, then you watch the right. But I like watching the smaller ones, because it's really just people talking. It's that local media equivalent of what's going on there. And and they're just as divided as we are on this, where they're sitting there and they're going, well, yeah, we got to defend ourselves, but what are we doing? This seems to be a bit much, no? And, people, they want to get mad, they want to scream, they want to yell, they want to fight. I just want to know to the people that were sitting here freaking out saying that, he's compromised and playing clips out of context. Can you breathe now? Not every one of you is going to breathe, but can you do that? Can you just take that deep breath and sit down? I mean, Kenny, we know we know a few people that are like that.
That are like that. Yeah, no, they won't. They won't, because whatever Trump just said yesterday, they're going to take out of context.
Yeah,
it's their mind's already set.
Yeah,
some people you just can't talk to. You can't change their mind. They're already set in their ways.
But yeah, some of you just take a breath, go outside. It's nice out. It's 72 degrees today here in Northeast Ohio, in the greatest Cleveland area. Go outside and take a breath. That's how that works. Just do that. Relax a little bit. Everybody wants to get so all the time. Like, just take a breath and relax. He said what you wanted him to say. I remember having this argument with people. 10 years ago about the whole, there are fine people on both sides. I remember going, he condemned them. What else do you want him to do? So he said what you wanted him to say, and clearly he means it. He's calling them out on not just a national stage, a worldwide stage. So can you take a breath now? Can we start to be focused here? Can we start to look ahead at elections? And, if we want Republicans to win, which we do, I know here in the state of Ohio we do, because Dr. Lockdown isn't it. Dr. Get the Jab or Else isn't it. Dr. Can't Read Numbers or Estimations Correctly is not it. So we need the Republicans to win here in the state of Ohio. So can we take a breath and understand that we're all on the same page here? That's all I'm asking. We're going to go to break. That's the music. When we come back, we're going to review some more things, because he said some cool things about Space Force that we need to get into. That more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free on your social media platforms, Rumble, YouTube, X. We're there. You can watch us live, see some of the behind-the-scenes things that we have going on here in the studio, because we're some goofy goobers.
That's putting it mildly.
That's putting it mildly. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glasses, one Mr. Kenny Kid. Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning. Hi.
Hello there, Kenny. How's it going, Kenny? So we're talking about President Trump at the G7 summit. And, I mean, I understand that with President Trump, people are just going to get triggered in general. Mm-hmm. They are. And, I mean, and you know what, to be fair, he's the president, so he's going to get that reaction no matter what. That is just the way that, like, the world works. Okay. Like, I don't understand it, but at the same time I do. Because, you know, people love just throwing the stuff out there and kind of just freaking out, and, you know, everybody reacts instead of, like, I don't know when this became a thing, I guess with social media, but we would rather just start, like, saying a bunch of things and typing a bunch of things as opposed to thinking before we do it.
No, it's instant reaction every time. Because
if we put a hashtag on it, it might trend, and then people can make money off of it, and, like, then you could talk about how people spoke to you in a dream, and people will believe it. That's where we're at. Let's see. Yeah, the Space Force. The Space Force comment. People, you know, so yesterday, how long was he up there? Kenny, about an hour?
The entire thing was about an hour. He talked for probably a good 40, 45 minutes and then took 15 to 20 minutes worth of questions.
And he didn't wander off? He didn't?
No, he
wow.
didn't. He did not wander off.
Not used to that.
And it wasn't all scripted on a teleprompter either, you know. I mean, he had it written down what he wanted to say, but
at any point
Trump
in time,
like, he'll turn that head and just elaborate.
That's when you know things are going sideways. At any point in time, did he speak loudly and then get into the microphone and whisper?
No, not that I've noticed.
I didn't see that either. So that was confusing for me. So yeah, Trump, he was also joking around yesterday. G7 summit. He was talking about Space Force. Someone asked him. Basically, they were like, "So what happens if they decide to stockpile uranium? You know, what are you going to do about it?" And President Trump was funny yesterday.
But I'm proud of Space Force because I started it. We have Space Force cameras on every single door, well, there are no doors. They've been pretty well shattered, but every area of that, if somebody walks in and he's got a badge with his name on it, like Mohammed something, which is about a 50-50 guess, Mohammed something, they can tell the name, they can give you a serial number, we can see things you wouldn't believe the quality of the stuff that we have. That's why we've been so successful. That's why our blockade will go down in the annals of history as being unbelievable. Nobody's ever seen a blockade like that. It's like a steel wall.
He went on to say it was like a steel wall. The Muhammad something.
Well,
I mean, you know,
you got about a 50-50 shot.
I mean, that would be like looking at the United States back like in the 50s and going John something.
Yes,
that's fair. It's fair. Yeah, I mean, it's just it reminds me of the old Big Chuck and Little John skit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Where Dick Goddard's talking about, we've got the greatest Doppler radar, and they end up zooming in on somebody's house anyways. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of. But yeah, I mean, overall, see, this is the thing. They're going to try to spin this as it's Donald Trump being this evil, mean guy, and he's just awful, and how dare he say something like that. They're going to try to turn this into just typical, just rhetoric, trying to get everybody at each other's throats, trying to get everybody mad at each other. That's what the whole purpose of this is, right? So they're going to play things out of context and all of that. Please find the context of the clip. Please.
If you've got the time, and if you don't try to make the time, go back to YouTube, and White House has it up. Watch the entire thing. Watch it. It's like an hour long. Watch the entire thing. It's so matter of fact, common sense, and he's telling you everything that you need to know.
Right, and the thing is this, you know, I understand being mad about stuff, but be mad at something that's real.
Mm-hmm.
If it's fake, what are you mad about? There's no reason to be mad.
And you don't know if it's fake unless you check the source itself. So go and watch the entire thing at some point.
And President Trump also spoke about and I've spoke about him numerous times. Of course, I'm talking about Graham Plattner.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you know Graham Plattner, the guy who was walking around with the Nazi tattoo, and the people who accused, this is the craziest thing to me. So we were accused of being Nazis because we wanted lower taxes, because we want our country to be successful.
We don't want boys competing in women's sports.
Right. Just basic things here.
Common sense.
Yeah, just basic things. At least I think. I don't know. A wise man once said, "I'm living in a world I don't understand." So maybe that's where I'm at now. In he was 70 something. I'm in my 30s, so I don't think I should be there yet. So there's still time, is what I'm saying. But President Trump, he was asked about it yesterday, and Graham Plattner, and he went. And I'm not one to do this like, oh, it was epic. He went after it. No, he really did. He called out the hypocrisy, because that's the worst part of it all, is the hypocrisy. That's well, it might be the Nazi tattoo, but I think the real worst part is the hypocrisy of it all, and how it's this. They say one thing and then they do another, and people need to be called out. And this is also on the right too. I'm not obviously Graham Plattner. He's running, for a position with the Democrats. But at the same time, if there was a Republican that was sitting here going, "I'm no socialist," and then the moment, they get in front of a small group of people and they make sure that, the logo on the cup is showing because they're just like you, an everyday man, the moment that they get to do that and they start going, well, maybe we do need socialized health care. To be fair, I would call them out too. I would call all of the above. Like, listen, we got to make media go back to, like, we smell it when it's in the air and we call it out when we smell it anyways. This is when, President Trump was said some things about him. Graham Plattner, here it is.
The latest YouGov Economist poll shows that Democrats have lost a 5-point edge on the generic congressional ballot. They just have now just a 2-point lead since February. Do you think that they're losing momentum?
Well, I see the Republicans in generics. Generics are very important. I don't know how accurate, because I see a lot of bad polls. The polls are very dishonest, just like a lot of reporters, like these people over here, are very dishonest. CNN, ABC, it's a whole group of them over there. They're really dishonest people. But, and really networks are very dishonest. And they have to straighten themselves out, or they're not going to be very successful, because people don't believe them anymore. But no, the generics are very interesting, because the Republicans are coming up strong even before this. You know why? They're seeing all these lunatics, like the guy in Maine with the swastika. For 10 years they've been calling me a Nazi. And now they have a Nazi running. He's got a tattoo on him. I've been denying it for 10 years. They know it's not so, but they've been calling. I don't think they can call it to me anymore. One more? One more? Go ahead, Peter.
Oh, sorry about that. So he's finally calling him out on it. And look, we need to. And the stuff that he's saying about the media networks, even though we work at one,
yeah.
it's he's not lying.
Well, I mean, we're different than the fake news, though.
Yeah, we're different.
Yeah, we're not ABC, we're not CNN, we're not the proven liars. I mean, I'll just say it. They've lied to us numerous times and continue to.
Yeah, and that's a good point. But there's I actually sent something this morning saying that the more people they talk to, the more they're like, I trust it. Ironically enough, radio and podcasters.
Yep.
Like that's who they're going to trust, are those voices, because I don't know that people are necessarily going to radio to go, ooh, what happened? I need to find out, as much as how is this going to affect me? Mm-hmm. And when there's a local voice, or it is somebody, God bless them, we need Rush. But if it is somebody like Rush Limbaugh, that, excuse me, that was able to put it, into perspective and going, this is what's going to happen. This is what was said is happening. This and this, kind of just putting it all together for you. You get that with radio and podcasts. Whereas with news, what are they going to do? They're going to play a clip, shove it down your throat, tell you how great it is or how bad it is and how it's inherently evil or it's the greatest thing. Actually, it's basically sent from God, and then you move on to the next thing that they're going to tell you the same thing about. But good on President Trump. We in general just need to start calling this stuff out. There's absolutely no reason not to call it out. It's just so goofy. It really is. Like, it's strange is another way to put it. It's strange. It doesn't make any sense. When you see that hypocrisy, call it out. You need to, and I'm not saying start yelling and screaming at people. That's dumb.
Just shine a light on it.
Right. Like, at the very least, don't be scared to do that. Like, that's what we need to do. Whether it's, people that we know or it's politicians. Like I said, don't be rude, but by all means, if they're saying some off-the-wall stuff, be like, what the hell are you talking about? What? Call them out on it. When we come back, Bernie Moreno, he asked all the right questions. I love Bernie Moreno, man. Like there are votes that I'll make and I go, ugh. I have not had one of those moments with Bernie Moreno. We'll tell you what they were when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM, or free on your social medias, all but Facebook right now. I don't know. We'll see how YouTube works out. YouTube likes to just shut things down in general, so we'll see how that works out. But as of right now, we're on Rumble, X, and YouTube. If you want to see some of the behind the scenes, a big reminder, 11:05, Christine Russo. You saw her in the Netflix documentary, The Crash, about that tragic accident that happened in Strongsville, claimed the life of 2 people. The young woman that was driving, she got 15 years to life. She's eligible, for parole after 15 years. We talk about that, and we talk about that a bit, so I don't really dive in on the documentary. I'm going to tell you this now. There's a lot of good that she's doing in this community, Christine Russo is, and I want to make sure people are aware of it because it's really, like, it's very honorable. It's very good stuff, and I want to make sure that when people do good stuff that they get, they get credit for it. So that's what we're doing.
Put a spotlight on it.
Absolutely. Because, we talk about all the bad, so let's talk about the good. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have
facts of life.
The facts of life.
There you go.
So speaking of the facts of life, sometimes people just need to be called out on their stuff. And listen, this is why I like Bernie Moreno. I do, man. I like every time I see a clip where he's got like this certain way that he sits when I know that he's going to ask a good question, and it's always in a hearing. So he's got the desk in front of him, and he's kind of got like arms crossed but leaning forward on the desk, and I go, oh, he's about to. Yeah. All right, he's about to do something good.
He's got like that stern look to him. Like,
yes,
it's coming. It's coming. Know it's coming.
And I feel like in the back, if he had a face in the back of his head, it's just giggling and laughing.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and you know what? Actually, maybe we need to take this a little more serious, Kenny.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because Bernie Moreno is doing what some people wouldn't do. And he's vetting. He's asking the right questions. He's asking the right things that need to be, the right questions that need to be answered. I mean, especially when they're coming here to sit down and they're going to talk to people who have power to make decisions. So good on you, Bernie Moreno. Because you asked the serious question. He actually did.
Yeah, all joking aside.
No, all
these
joking.
are questions that you shouldn't have to ask. You really shouldn't have to. But in light of what's going on now, you kind of have to.
Of Mr. Graham Plattner.
Yes.
He's an interesting guy, isn't he? Anyway, this is, hypothetically, if Graham Plattner won, which I still think he's going to be.
I think he's going to win.
I think
we got a bucket of pierogies on.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to be booted before November, before the election. He's going to be booted, and they're going to hoist somebody else in there. And anyways, but Bernie Moreno asking all the right questions. Here they are. Man, oh man, we want clips. Here it is.
Do any of you have a Nazi tattoo?
Senator, as I mentioned yesterday, I do not have any tattoos, especially not a Nazi tattoo.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Senator, I do not have any tattoos of that nature.
Cummings?
Do not have any tattoos, Senator.
Hamilton?
No.
Oh. Have any of you ever...
Real quick, how sad is it that we actually have to ask these questions? How sad is it that we actually have to ask people when they're going to testify in front of Congress, just, because this is the problem now. Certain side... the people on the left for the most part. And listen, when I say that, I know it's a general statement, and I know it's not everyone on the left. I'm talking about the goofy people that are out there screaming and yelling and the ones that have the camera shoved in their face and are making the videos. They give you guys a bad name. Listen, I'm mad at them because they don't want what's best for this country. You should be even more mad at them. If you're somebody who sits on the fence and leans left, you should be even more mad at them because they're making you look bad. So much so they make you look so bad that senators now have to double check and make sure that when people are coming in to sit down, that they don't have Nazi tattoos. And this clip's close to 2.5 minutes because there are that many things that have been said, have been done, all on social media and we all know the keyboard warriors, I know a few that work in radio, that will sit there and just run their mouth, say whatever. They don't. I saw somebody the other day complaining, and we'll talk about it, the stuff going on in the MLB with the Bible verse written on the hat because it was pride. So, apparently you can only have Bible verses some days and other days you can't. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous all around. It's just dumb. But the San Francisco Giants player wrote and somebody goes, well, does he know about working on the Sabbath? Well, I don't know, moron. Is he a Jew? Because that's Judaism. That's not Christianity. But, you know, you just spout things and you type them out and you say whatever you want to say. But like, this is the problem. And this is what I said it comes down to. You type things out before you actually think about it and it clicks. Like, do you do that? No, you're just hoping to get likes, clicks, and retweets from your 10 friends who think the same way you do? Because you all live in a basement somewhere? Yeah, all right. Oh, well, I think we should have taxes go to everything. You don't pay taxes. I bet you do want it to go to everything. Absolutely. But because of the people like that, we now have people like Graham Plattner that have a platform, which I don't know. Maybe it'll switch. Maybe it'll completely switch up. Who knows? But they're trying to make him like the anti-Fetterman. And they have all this just pre-produced, rehearsed. No. Let's all hear them out. They're just as mad as you are about the same things. You remember that clip? It was at some meet and greet that he was holding up in Maine. But this guy has said some disgusting thing. And look, like, I'm not somebody who has a weak stomach. And I think I'm a millennial. I think some pretty stupid, maybe some sick things are funny sometimes. This guy's a freak. This guy's got things wrong with him. Like, he's way out there. You know, they're trying to pass him off as this oyster farmer. Apparently he went to some ridiculous private school. Isn't it funny how that's always the case, though? Every person that the left tries to pass off like that, they went to some fancy school. Like, look at AOC. AOC went to, like, one of the fanciest high schools in the country. But, you know, she puts videos out there. She's dancing around. Oh, I'm just a bartender. No, you're a rich girl. You're a rich girl who was working as technically, Donald Trump Jr. worked as a bartender in college. Would we call him a bartender? I don't think so. So it's this whole narrative that they try to put out there of, well, he's just like you. No, he's not like me. I don't talk about doing things to myself in a porta potty because of the way that the blue water smells. I certainly don't have a Nazi tattoo. So no, he's not like me. And I'll tell you, I know people in Maine. I don't think the people in Maine are like that either. I know it's an assumption, but I'm going to go ahead and make it. I'm pretty safe in making that assumption. But going back to Bernie Moreno. Bernie Moreno has to sit here and ask questions about, do you believe that women deserve to be raped? Do you believe that, you know, the doing things in a porta potty, all of these different things, because the people on the left, see, this is they've nominated this guy, and the problem is this. See, they believe that this is what Donald Trump is. They believe that Donald Trump is somebody who's whacked out like this. Now, does Donald Trump have some skeletons in his closet? Yeah, he's been in the limelight for 40, 50 years. He's a rich guy. And look, rich people know rich people who do rich people things.
I'd venture to say that closet has been cleaned out a long time ago. I can't imagine there being much of anything left that has not been exposed to the public at this point.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Because, something else we have to remember, too, with that is there have been books written about Donald Trump, and people have said things, they've recanted, and then they said, no, it really happened, no, it didn't, it did, and there's been this back and forth. But with Graham Plattner, there seems to be no back and forth. There just seems to be, well, you have a Nazi tattoo. Oh, I didn't know it was a Nazi tattoo. Really? It is? Wow, that's crazy, guys. I didn't even know. What? How do you not know when you're getting something put on your body permanently? Anyways, let's get back to Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno. I'd vote for him again tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I do, man. I love the way this guy works. So this is, we're going to continue. I'm actually going to start it over here. Listen to the questions that Bernie Moreno has to ask, because the problem is all of these things have been proven about Graham Plattner for the most part. And what I mean by that is they've tracked down old social media posts. They've tracked down photos of him on apps where he's half naked with a towel on, trying to do freaky things with freaky people, strange people. It's all there. So Bernie Moreno now has to ask these questions to the people here because there's no vetting, apparently, for that. Listen.
Do any of you have a Nazi tattoo?
Senator, as I mentioned yesterday, I do not have any tattoos, especially not a Nazi tattoo.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Senator, I do not have any tattoos of that nature.
Cummings?
Do not have any tattoos, Senator.
Hamilton?
No.
Oh. Have any of you ever said that women deserve to be raped and should take accountability for being intoxicated?
Senator, absolutely not.
No.
No.
Senator, I've had family members sexually assaulted in very egregious ways, so absolutely not.
How about that black people don't tip well? Would that be in your background?
No, Senator. No, sir.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop it here because we have to go to break. But do you hear the pause when he's asking these? Because some of these questions, they're just so ridiculous. Just so absolutely ridiculous, because it's one of these where they're sitting there and they're going, what? Huh? You know, when people like when we're talking about Donald Trump and they go, well, don't you believe fascists? And you're like, what are you talking about? What? Huh? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to play this because Bernie Moreno, but there's still another minute to this because there's that much stuff out here about this guy. And once again, I'll say it. I feel bad for the middle of the road Democrats because they're being lumped in with this psychopath up in Maine. And you wonder why so many people are going independent. That's why, because you got goofies like that over there running for office. This is Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free on Rumble, or really any social media. You go and search the Jake Underwood Show there. You could see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're talking about Bernie Moreno yesterday, because this is where we're at. And he had to ask some off-the-wall questions to people that were there at this hearing that they were talking to, because clearly there's no vetting when it comes to certain candidates, and we're talking about Graham Plattner. Now, and I know locally here, people are going to go, why are you talking about Graham Plattner when you need to be talking about Sherrod Brown? And that's a fair question. That's 100% a fair question. The reason why is because we need to see the way that, so what they're going to do with Graham Plattner, right? Because they know that he doesn't have the best reputation right now.
What?
I know. So the way that they're going to try to really sell all of it with Graham Plattner, they're going to try to do with somebody like a Sherrod Brown. And I'm not talking about to the Democrats. I'm talking about to the moderates. Because I know that we like to say that Ohio is a red state. It's still swing, but it leans more red.
It's more of a mauve.
A mauve. Oh, fancy, are we? But it's not a purple. It's trending that way. But the reason why it's trending that way is because Republicans have done a great job bringing that moderate vote in. Like, listen, you can say what you want about Mike DeWine, but because he was a moderate Republican, he brought those independent moderates in, and they voted for him. He did a great job courting them. He wooed them, if you will. He was a wooer. So that's why we saw that. So the same defense tactics that they're going to start using for Graham Plattner is what they're going to be using for Sherrod Brown as it comes closer to the election. Why do I say that? Well, because politics is copycat. It's a copycat league. What works up in Maine is going to work in Ohio, is going to work in Pennsylvania, is going to work in Montana. That's just the way it works. Nobody has an original idea ever. If you don't believe me, just wait till Fast and Furious 11 come out, and wait till Avengers Endgame, the end for real this time, comes out, and all these different sequels, and Toy Story 5 comes out. Nobody has an original idea anymore because AI can't give it to them. So instead, what they're going to do is they're going to watch how it happens there. Now, Maine is very important, but it's not make or break like a Sherrod Brown race is for the Democrats. Sherrod Brown has to get back in for the Democrats. They just do, because it builds up this entire narrative that they can then run with that, well, Ohio was strong red, which in reality we know that it wasn't. We know that it's very red. It's a nice bright red. It's not a deep red.
Most of Ohio is pretty red.
Well, and that's why
those blue hubs of Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati.
Yeah. And to be fair, you have Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Youngstown's red now. At least it is for Trump.
Toledo.
We'll see Toledo, Dayton, Athens, because the university's down there. Right. So as red as it is, we do have some glaring blue spots that people like. We just forget, because when we think of Ohio, we think of the 3 C's.
And we also think of the farmland, though, too. And you're like, of course
right.
Farmers are red or Republican. So you think of that, but you don't realize how big those blue oases are.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and this is where Republicans, you got to be careful. You keep pushing these AI data centers, you might lose some of these farmers.
Yep.
You might lose some of these farmers that you have that are deep red, and they're going to go, you're not looking out for me. What are you doing? Because ultimately, like, look, the reason why people vote blue the way that they do is because they believe that they are going to be represented. Same reason why we vote for Republicans. And I know you're going, yeah, obviously. But remember, the moment they feel that they're not going to be represented, I'm not saying they're going to go to the other side. I'm saying that they're just not going to vote. Or maybe they just don't vote in that race. They'll vote on the local stuff that's on the ballot. Like maybe they'll vote on the voter ID amendment. Then they'll walk away. And then what did you do? You didn't. I almost think of it in terms of sales. What's your conversion rate? The people that are walking in there, are you able to convert them to be a follower for you, a voter for you? Are you able to? Do you have a 50% conversion rate? Because when you think about it, really, that's what it is. When people walk in to make a vote, they're putting down whether or not they're buying what you're selling. So what's your conversion rate? Do you have a good conversion rate? AI data centers, it doesn't have it. You don't have it when it comes to Republicans and farmers. You don't have it. They don't want it because they've lived on their some farmer. I know some farmers that it's like 3-4 generations, and they themselves are in their 60s, 70s. So it could potentially go on for 5 or 6. And when you tell them that it's not a priority, what do you think they're going to do? That's the way they make their money. That's all I'm saying. So, just have that in the back of your head when you're thinking about this stuff. It doesn't mean that they're going to vote, doesn't mean that they're going to vote blue. It just means they won't vote. They won't vote red. They'll vote in the local issues and they'll leave. And if you want an example of that, look what happened in November of last year. We saw that. Medina County, because I was working at the party at the time, Wadsworth had a 15% voter turnout. Why do you think that was? There wasn't a connection there. That spark was gone, and complacent Republicans. Nothing hurts Republicans more than complacency. So go vote. You just need to. All right, Bernie Moreno. Bernie Moreno going back, vetting the way that Democrats didn't vet their senator candidate up in Maine. Here are some more of the questions. Now, remind you, Bernie Moreno's asking these questions because this is real stuff that is being alleged of the candidate up in Maine.
And who broke into your homes?
No.
Have any of you fantasized about raping men who broke into your homes?
Senator, absolutely not.
No, Senator.
No, sir.
No.
No.
Have any of you fantasized about masturbating in public bathrooms?
Senator, absolutely not.
No, Senator.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Well, I'm glad that you clarified that for us. I mean, you wouldn't be qualified to be the Democrat nominee for Senate in Maine, but certainly
that's such a good line. So, and I think you get the point. There's a little bit more there where they start to dive in a little bit more on it, but I don't think that we should just want somebody who's respectable or presentable in the White House. I think we should want it everywhere in government. I think we should want our representatives to be the best that they can be. I think that, and this is where, and I get on Fetterman for this, I think they should be dressed nicely. It's an important job. It's an important job. Even wear a polo. Get a polo that says like your position or something. I don't know. But like just, don't hate on polos.
I hate polos.
I love a good polo. I'm wearing a good polo
polos.
today.
Either wear a button-up shirt or don't. One or the other.
That's fair. But dress nicely. Take the job seriously. You should want the best representative to speak and have your voice. Because that's what it is. They're your voice in Washington. They're your megaphone. You call, you tell them what you need, what you want, and they try to get it done. And if they can't, they tell you why. But you should want the best person possible. Graham Plattner doesn't seem to be the best person possible based on the tweets and posts on Reddit and accounts and everything else that we're seeing. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll talk about this and more when we come back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. Excuse me, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on Rumble, we're on X, we're on YouTube. Look us up. You can see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, as well as give us a follow. Different interviews, different things we do get posted there. We get some memes sometimes. If breaking news happens and we're off the air, that's where they get posted. That's where I post them at the very least. So give us a follow. Stay on top of it, especially here locally. We're trying to stay on top of things. And of course, we're talking about Bernie Moreno. We are going to get to the flock cameras here shortly. I want to say one more thing. And if you don't know, Bernie Moreno yesterday had to ask some, just ridiculous questions because of who the Democrats are nominating and who they voted for. That's the candidate up there in Maine. So now he's got to ask questions like, do you have a Nazi tattoo? Do you say women deserve to be raped? Do you fantasize about raping men who broke into your home? Like that's the kind of stuff that's being put out there online. First of all, that's pretty weird, strange, demented. I could think of 85 different things to call that.
Just one of those would make you strange.
Yeah.
All of that together makes you a psychopath.
Yeah. There's some tendencies here that really need to it needs to be addressed, to say it nicely. And that's why I really think we got a bucket of pierogies on it. But I really think that they're going to end up giving him a little bit of the boot there as we come closer to election day. That's my feeling on it. I hope I'm right. I really do, because I don't want to think that there's a time in government where that's the best a political party could do, and that there are people that are just so blinded by just the media messaging and just the echo chamber that they live in that they would vote for somebody like that. Like, if there was a Republican, like let's say hypothetically, Sherrod Brown's running, and so Bernie Moreno beat Sherrod Brown. So let's say the Republican that they put up against, it was not Bernie Moreno, but somebody who had a track record like this.
David Duke.
Well, he's a Democrat, but yeah.
I know, I'm just saying, though, that's kind of.
Right, I wouldn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for her, whatever. I wouldn't vote for him. There's no way that I would vote for somebody who has a track record like this. And on top of it, the phoniness would immediately be like a red flag for me. Just the phony, we almost, hold on, they're just as mad. Oh, they're real mad just like you. Like, come on. It's so manufactured, and it's just fake, and it's that emotional grift just there to pull the emotion out of you so we all could cry together. Like, come on. We see through it. We have to start seeing through it. Life is not television. Law and Order SVU is not really what cops do. I'm reminding everybody. I know most people know. I'm just reminding them. But the reason why we have to hold people accountable, and listen, and this is the thing too. Like, people get mad at me. They say that I'm anti-Trump. I'm not anti-Trump. When I start going in on him a little bit, and I'm like, what are you doing, my guy? One, I expect more out of them. I expect this out of the lunatic lefties. I expect them to put people up like this. I don't expect them to win. That's where my issue's coming in. I don't expect them to win. I don't think that they should have a voice like that. The same way that I don't think an extreme... Listen, if Nick Fuentes was running for something in my state or in Illinois, I'd be like, what are you guys doing? There's no way you could vote for somebody like that. Now, with that said, I still think Fuentes, majority of what he says is a bit. I'm going to put that out there. It's a bit. It's for reaction. But we have to start calling out the things. We have to start calling it where it lies. We can't keep assisting, oh, well, maybe they didn't. Oh, well, maybe. Like, we don't have to be vicious about it. We don't have to be mean about it. But we have to start calling it out where it is. Because it shows that we haven't. And this is why I say we got to start talking to each other. Because here's the thing. If discussions were being had and we weren't all in our little echo chambers, once again, this isn't everyone, I'm speaking generalities. If we weren't in these little echo chambers, somebody like Graham Plattner wouldn't have a platform to run on. because they would know that it's not true. I mean, and we're going to really dive into it tomorrow. With the way that the Europeans that are coming over here for the World Cup, their minds are blown by the United States because they were told it's all this evilness, and they were going to walk in and immediately they were going to be thrown in shackles, and you better learn the national anthem or else. Like, that was like the attitude that they made it sound like it would be, and it's not that at all. It's not that at all. But because when you start talking to each other and you realize, oh, wow, okay, we agree on something. Not a Graham Plattner. Not somebody like that. That's somebody who's way out there. Like, I can hardly see them, and I'm on top of a mountain because they're just so far out there, and you're like, ooh, I'm praying for you because I think that's the only thing that can help you at this point. But just regular people, when we talk to each other, a Graham Plattner doesn't have that opportunity even, and you know what? He probably shouldn't have it. Now, this is America. Anybody can run for anything. But how polarized has it become? How bad are these echo chambers now that the people are so scared to hear things outside of what they want to believe that someone like that can get a nomination? And like I said, I would call it out on the right, too. I absolutely would. I don't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody who's like that that's running as a Republican. I can't. Now, I will say this. I know that there's a few on the left that are running like that are openly coming out and calling themselves democratic socialists, this extreme. Oh, these people, I think they need to die. Hassan Piker, who is a joke, shouldn't be taken seriously, but he does have a following. He's the left's Nick Fuentes, if you don't know. He's a guy that the other day said, we need to round up all the people that are registered Republicans. What are we doing? Why are we letting this person have a microphone? Like, what are we doing? And no, it's not censorship. No, it's not. I'm sorry. But if I knew somebody that was saying something like that, I'd snatch the microphone out of their hand and we'd probably brawl right there. We'd start scrapping. Why are we allowing these things to have platforms like this? And I say these things because I don't know that they're human. Because there's something not right up there that you could say things like that. Oh, this person wants to pay less taxes? Round them all up. Like, that's not a logical thing to say. It's not a logical thing to do. Oh, they want their country to be the best in the world? We need to round them up. How crazy is that? Like, that's a special level of stupid that like, we had NASA's press secretary on. They said they have to get to the moon to go to Mars. You're going to have to get to, like, Pluto to try to get to that level of stupid that Hassan Piker is just regurgitating in front of people, and people cheer. They just want to be a part of a movement. That's what social media's like conditioned us to do. Well, you got to be a part of a movement. If you're not a part of a movement, then what are you a part of? I'd rather be a part of this country. Have some pride in that. Make it the best that we can. You don't need a movement when you have America. America is the movement. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a local company, I'm sad, local company shutting down after 120 years. If you don't know, you'll know it by the jingle, and we'll play when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM, or watch the stream on social media. We're on Rumble, X, YouTube. We're working on getting to more. We'll see how YouTube works out because I have a feeling they like shutting people down. So we'll see how it works out. I said it before the break. I teased it a bit. I'm kind of sad about this, actually. After 120 years, they're one of their slogans was Youngstown born, Youngstown bred. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll know as soon as I play this song here.
We want Schwabels, no other labels will do. We want Schwabels on our lunch tables, no other labels will do.
Schwabels.
We want Schwabels for ham and
See, I didn't know this was a part of the song.
butter and jelly. We want Schwabels for our lunch and when we're watching TV.
I don't think I've ever heard the full
Yeah.
song.
We want Schwabels, the only white bread with taste. We want Schwabels, no other labels will do. If you want your white bread to taste like
Something to and stand up and shout, I want Schwabels! So, yeah, we all know the song. I mean, as a kid, I used to sing that like crazy.
I know the jingle,
Yes.
but I'd never heard that entire song, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I drove my parents nuts singing that song. to be fair, I think I heard it on the radio once, and I just ran with it.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
oh.
Yeah. So after 120 years, they're calling it quits. It sounds like based on the press release that was put out, they tried everything to find somebody to buy them. Just for somebody to take over. They couldn't find anybody.
That sucks. That's
Yeah.
typically the bread I'll buy when I go grocery
Yeah,
shopping.
I know. Yeah, I don't know any other I don't know any other bread.
Well, there's plenty. I mean, usually, depending on what store you go to, they almost all have their own, generic bread. But usually, I'll just go straight to Schwabels because I knew it was good.
Yeah, I've been conditioned to understand that I want Schwabels on my lunch tables because no other flavor will do. This is yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, no, it is. It's sad. But yeah, some of the details, they announced that they will be operating through the weekend of July 4th and start to wind down its operations throughout the summer. This is courtesy of Fox 8 that I got the details here. Let's see here. Steve Cooper, who is the chief executive officer for Schwabels Baking Company, says they tried to find a buyer before shutting down, but with no success, they've now begun their liquidation process. The Schwabels brand has been known for the highest quality bread, buns, and other bakery products over 100 years. It actually 120 this year. We are devastated to reach the point where liquidation is the only remaining option. We've worked with our advisors for several months to identify a buyer or investment source. However, despite significant efforts to adapt to changing market conditions and secure additional investments, the company is unable to establish a sustainable path forward. That's too bad. Yeah, that's too bad. They said that it's got to do with just the cost of manufacturing, labor costs, pensions, facilities, equipment, and consumer trends. So yeah, Schwabels, 120 years. Man, they're out. So if you enjoy Schwabels on your lunch tables,
Stock up.
Yeah, that's the best. Honestly, that's like I might be part of the blame for this. I really don't eat bread that much anymore. I'm probably gonna.
It's all your fault.
I'm sorry.
Man, Jake Underwood killing local companies.
There we go. That's the rumor I need. Of all the things that's already out there, that's the one that I need to be added to it. But I'm probably going to go buy a loaf of Schwabels. Wow, man, yeah. And to everybody who's going to have that song stuck in their head for the rest of the day, I apologize.
You're welcome.
Yes, that too.
I don't apologize.
Oh, I do. I feel terrible. Not really. But yeah, so that's and that's of course the Mahoning Valley area. That Lordstown, they got hit with about 10 years ago ish, around there. And now, you got Schwabels. Obviously, Schwabels isn't as large as, the Lordstown auto manufacturer, but that area gets hit so hard. And it's a lot. I go to church out there. It's a lot of good people out there. It really is. They are. Those are God's people.
When things like this happens, it's a double whammy because not only are you not getting that quality product anymore, but all those people that work there are now going to be unemployed,
right?
Or have to look elsewhere for.
Yeah,
for work.
that's and I mean, in the city of Youngstown, I mean, they were reacting. They're like, not only are we losing a staple in the city, but also the economic impact. I mean, this could be catastrophic. Let's see here. Yeah, this was one of the councilwomen, Samantha Turner. She said this is disheartening when we lose such an institution in our city and in the community overall. Closing this facility closes down, whether it's in Youngstown or Boardman, it will affect us also, every community. We need to come together and figure out how to replace those jobs, that tax revenue, because it affects all of us, and we need to understand that and work together, but not just in the cities, but also as a county. So, I mean, this is going to hit them pretty hard. So, if you know anybody first of all, if you know anybody who worked there, pray for them. Man.
And if you're within the area and you own a business and you're looking for help, make sure you
stop on by, drop off some applications or something.
Yeah, put the word out. Try to help those people out. Case Swish on the live chat on Rumble is calling you the bread killer.
Wow. Well, no. Not exactly. I know who that is. He doesn't eat much bread either, so.
Jake the Bread Killer Underwood.
That's
a hell of a nickname.
I mean, I've been called worse, to be fair. I've been called worse. That's the latest with that. I mean, Schwabels, it's just, I mean, we all know the jingle.
It's always sad when you see local companies that you grew up with go down.
Yeah, and it takes away that's the stuff that is, I don't want to say that is America, but it is. Those little businesses like that, the corner store. I was lucky enough to grow up at the corner store when I lived in Chippewa. When I lived in Chippewa Lake, it was Goodman's. It was right there. I believe it's still there. But, and it wasn't a gas station. It was literally a corner store. You go in there, they had ice cream, they had penny candies, like they had all that stuff. So I was lucky enough to have that, just that local kind of business there and that feel, like when you go there, it's something that it's made here. It's, it has that connection. It's not just some random company that, is importing things, but it's actually giving back not only to your city, not only to, through tax revenue, like the councilwoman said, it's helping out.
They're employing.
Yeah, they're employing.
They're employing the neighborhood,
Not only are they getting money from the people, but they're investing in the neighborhoods. And that's the part that is missing with a lot of this. Just with the changes that are being made now, you don't see that.
Profits just aren't automatically going out of state.
Yeah, yeah, and it's sad. It's sad because like growing up, I would hear the stories about like the Lay's potato chip or the Dandy,
Dandy.
all these,
my uncles used to work at Dandy.
Right,
they always had potato chips.
Man,
there was always potato chips at my grandma's.
Yeah, like my grandfather grew up across the street from it might have been Dandy, the factory there, and on Hoppensack. So like I would hear all the stories about just how bustling this area used to be. And I know this is in Youngstown, but all of Ohio, we're seeing job growth. I believe we're 46th in job growth. And now we're seeing this happen. And it's just,
I think it just hammers home the importance of supporting local businesses.
Well, and I think it hammers home that Amy Acton, when she shut everything down, it probably didn't make it any easier on things like Schwabels or these other companies.
No,
so
the big box stores were able to stay open.
Oh, yeah,
the mom and pop shops.
Well,
down.
Walmart. Walmart was the priority there. That was the big thing there.
Well, Walmart had that shield, that COVID shield.
That's right. I forgot. It was the smiley face. The smiley face scared away COVID. COVID is scared of yellow smiley faces. I forgot. That study came out from BS University. Yeah, BSU. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yes, that study came out, and everybody realized they go to Walmart.
They do a lot of studies.
They do, yeah. Oh, man. 2020, they all got their money's worth. I'll tell you that much. Oh, man. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to break down the stuff that's going on with the flock cameras in Cleveland. because people are divided on it. I'll tell you why I think it's a good thing. And don't forget, 11:05, we're going to talk to Christine Russo. She is the sister of Dominic Russo, who passed away. If you saw the Netflix documentary, The Crash, tragic accident that happened in Strongsville a few years ago. We're going to take a break. That more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free. Well, free everywhere, really, but no paywalls yet. No. But money. Yeah, on Rumble, X, and then also on YouTube today. There's a few here. I need to get caught up on the text messages. Somebody texted and said, I love Sherrod Brown's latest commercial where he believes if you go to Washington, you shouldn't get rich on insider trading. 29 years ago, he believed in term limits until he got in. Yeah. Yeah. And then a Bozo texted in and said, Schwabel's rye bread is the best. Oh, it is. You put some stadium mustard on there. You get some salami, smack it on there. Just a little bit of butter in a pan. Oh, man. And they're taking it away from us. Like, oh man, yeah. I'm gonna have to go shopping later and get some Schwabel's bread.
Stop it! I'm getting hungry.
That's what this is.
It's only 10:34.
I know. I apologize.
We still got an hour and a half.
I know. Oh, also today is it's Thursday, June 18th, 2026. It's windy out, so be careful. 25 miles per hour right now. It's 73 degrees and mostly cloudy. But you know what? I'm gonna say partly sunny.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gonna say because we're optimists here. So it's official. We've talked about the flock cameras time and time again, as you know. And if you don't know, I'll remind you. The contract with the flock cameras for the city of Cleveland, it's up at the end of this month. And there was a decision to be made about the flock cameras. And, of course, I spoke about it the other day a little bit with the flock cameras, where it's all a part of this regionalism, no waka stuff, where, you know, they – so what's going on is the people – is because they – all right. So the city of Cleveland has these flock cameras, and the reason why they're effective in the city of Cleveland is because they won't let police chase criminals. No car chases. That's the way that they do it. They're not allowed to pursue, nothing like that. So they use these flock cameras to then, you know, solve crimes. That they're great for. 100%. Of course, I agree with that. And some officers and you know, the police department is coming out and saying that. They're going, you know, it saves us a lot of money when it comes to labor and man hours. So getting rid of these isn't a great idea. And I don't disagree with that. They're saying that the department said that officers conduct about 12,000 flock searches each month and estimates the system saves about $1.9 million a year.
Oof.
So from that standpoint, yeah, no, I understand why those would be important. But the point that I would bring up to that, the counterpoint I would bring up to that, and I don't know because I don't know that there's been any studies done on this, but in the city of Cleveland, if police were allowed to pursue, would it be around the same?
Would these even be necessary?
Right. Would they even be necessary? Would crimes be solved?
And they're saying what it would say, but what does it cost? What's the difference there?
The cost, I believe, is $225,000.
Okay.
Yeah, the contract renewal would cost the city roughly $250,000. So.
Well, I mean,
this real quick. This is where the problem comes in. Okay, so this is where it's all connected, and this is why I said it has to do with Waka. And of course, we talked about Nowaka. That's Northeast Ohio. What they're doing, it's 5 counties made up. It's almost a commission or a board, if you will, and the whole point of it is for control, right? They want to be able to talk to the different counties and get the ideas. Well, the problem is there's 48 members that vote on it. 26 of them represent Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, and then the other 19 votes are the other 5 counties. So it's just unfair, right? Cleveland and Cuyahoga County are controlling the region, which of course we want Cleveland to be good because that means all the rest of us are good, but not at the cost of Medina County, Lake County, Lorain County, and Geauga County. No, don't think so. No, that's absolutely ridiculous, right? And that's my opinion on that, and you can disagree. We're all allowed to disagree. That's the great thing about this country. But the reason why the flock cameras, I think, are so important is, one, and we talked about it here, is that the city of Cleveland, they don't allow them to chase. They don't. But this is where it becomes a problem. Because and the police, and listen, the police are saying that it helps them, and that's incredible that it helps them. You can have something that's bad also do good things. You can have things that are not good that have benefits. I don't believe that the benefits outweigh the bad. And this is why. Because eventually what's going to happen is they're going to look at these numbers, the ones that I just read off. And like I said, this is not on the police at all in Cleveland. You know, this is just how they use it. They said that, you know, they're conducting these, it's saving them money. They use 12,000 flock searches each month, and that saves an estimated $1.9 million a year in investigative labor. And this technology has helped solve crimes. Now, city council members challenged that, and they said, are people really not doing crimes because of flock cameras? They don't know. Which is, I think that's a fair answer. I don't know that we will ever know. But what I do know is that they are going to try to spread this, and this is my opinion. So I'm just going by the gut feeling here. That's all I can go off of. They are going to try to spread this throughout the region through Nowaka. And the reason why I say that, look at what's happening now. We're hearing about these crimes that happen in Strongsville, and we're hearing about these crimes. Remember the car stealing sprees that were going on, where they were just busting out windows of dealerships, grabbing these cars, driving them up to Cleveland, and they'd have to stop because you can't pursue them once you're in Cleveland. No car chases in Cleveland. You're not allowed. So then nobody knew what happened, or they'd find the car and it's, parts are ripped out or it's burnt, whatever it might be. They're going to try to justify, because some of the people that live in Cleveland are going to these suburb areas. They're going to these different counties. They're engaging in crime, and then they turn around and they drive back home to Cleveland. And the moment they cross into Cleveland, chase is done. So now what they're going to try to do is justify putting these flock cameras up all over the Waka area. We cannot let that happen. We cannot let Cleveland, because they can't get their stuff together, dictate who does and does not have control of where we live. We can't do that. Remind you, Mayor Justin Bibb is also the president of Waka. So, of course, he's going to do what he feels, which that's a whole different thing. But what his mind tells him is the best thing for the Cleveland area. Now, if they put these flock cameras up everywhere, see, this is all a part of the we need less police stuff. And this is the way that they're going to do it. If we have these flock cameras, they're going to sit here and go, well, I guess we don't need to spend that much on police if we have flock cameras. I mean, we just track down the license plate, and then we're able to go to their house, and then we will pursue the suspect at that point in time. That's what they're going to say. I'm not saying the police will say that. I'm saying that the people that are pushing for these flock cameras, that's the argument they're going to make. This is a fancy way of saying defund the police. Putting these cameras up all over the place. So you're defunding the police because you're going to need less there. The problem with the police isn't the money spent. The problem with the police is that there's not enough. We don't have enough officers. We don't have enough people out there doing it. And the crazy thing about it is they'll turn around and tell you that they need social workers. What? Excuse me? Because that doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird like that. I love watching body cam. I love it. I mean, when live PD was a thing, man, Saturday night, I was sitting down. I was watching that. That was on in the background. When I'm working on stuff, I still watch the videos of it. And you watch the way that it is. The problem isn't that the camera that was up at that intersection didn't capture the license plate. The problem was that it was a car full of people and it was one officer responding. That's what the problem was. The problem isn't that, the police, that he has a gun. The problem is that there probably should have been 2 officers responding to that, maybe 2 officers in a car. How about that? The problem isn't that the flock camera isn't walking the neighborhoods and getting to know the people that, they're serving. The flock camera can't do that, but the police officer can. And if you budget it and you're actually able to get more police there, and when police are walking around, what's going to intimidate a criminal more? A camera up in the corner? That probably doesn't have the best quality, if we're going to be honest. We've seen the CCTV stuff. It's not the best quality. Or a human being that's walking the neighborhoods that they know and they see a few times a week, out walking the beat. Or that cop car sitting there with 2 officers in it. What's gonna deter crime more? Is it going to be the cameras, or is it going to be the fact that you're investing in the officers and there's more of them, and people know, we can't go there because there's an officer there, or be on the lookout, they just hired more cops? What's going to be more intimidating to criminals? And criminals are going to do criminal things. That's what they do. People break the law. That's not a race thing. That's not a gender thing. That's just what criminals do. Criminals come in all shapes and sizes, and the only thing that deters a bad guy is a good guy. It's really that simple. It's the reason why in comic books you have Superman and then a bad guy, or Spider-Man and then the Green Goblin, because bad guys get away with things until the good guys step in. The problem is Cleveland is defunding the good guys because they've painted them in this light that they are these evil, evil people that, oh my goodness, they just, they're out of control. Oh, this thing that happened. And then on top of it, they have the restrictions of the federal consent decree on top of it. You're making it harder for the good guys to be good. And you wonder why times are so bad. How is it confusing? The answer isn't flock cameras. The answer is investing in more police. The answer is making sure that police are taken care of, because their job is to take care of the people. So if the police are able to do their job, then the people are going to be safe. Are accidents going to happen? Yes. And that sucks each and every time it happens. But to defund the police because something gets headlines, to make sure that the good guys don't have the chance to be good, what are you doing? And I'm putting it simply like that because that's what it is. I'm asking, like, genuinely, what do we think's going to happen? We're going to break this down a little bit more. Talk about the flock cameras. I want to explain once again the way that NOACA, I believe, is going to take advantage of this. That more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free on social media. Go there and take a look. You get to see some behind the scenes. Just a reminder, in the next segment, Christine Russo had a phone call with her a few days ago and just talked about, what it's been like after, Netflix fame, really. If you don't know, the documentary, The Crash, it was about a situation that happened here. It was an accident, car crash that happened in Strongsville. It was 3 teenagers involved, 2 of which passed. The only person who did not pass was the driver, Mackenzie Shrilla. She is now in prison, 15 years to life. She's eligible for parole after 15 years. And if you watch the documentary, it's laid out. There's a lot of question marks there, and they believe it was done with intent. To say it, I'm trying to be as nice as possible here, because it's absolutely, it's heartbreaking, and it's about an hour and a half long. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, and we'll have Christine Russo next. There's a fundraiser going on, and as I said, she's doing great stuff in the community. Like, she really is. She's trying to put some things together to help people out. We're talking legislation, we're talking foundations, we're talking fundraisers, all these different things, and it's commendable. It really is, because in situations like that, some people, they shut down completely. And I understand. She lost her little brother.
Yeah.
And some people, they just shut down, or it becomes bitter, and they just become filled with hate and rage, and not the case here.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's not the case here. And no, it's as I was interviewing her, I was like, whoa, with some of the just different things. At one point, and you'll hear it, because I reported on it down the dial. I remember I talked about it, and when I was news anchor there, and we're reporting on it, and she said it, and she's right. She said, because my brother's murderer, and I was like, whoa, like that's okay.
The facts of the case and
that's
the verdict. That's what happened.
When you hear it laid out, the way that she laid it out, and just the way she explained everything, it really blows your mind, and it really puts things in perspective. That's going to be at 11:05. Excuse me. Right now, Right now, we're talking flock cameras. We're talking NOWACA. We're talking about regionalism. We're talking about the fact that a city, because they may have more people, even though it's been on the decline for a long time, and listen, when it comes to Cleveland, I am an optimist with the city of Cleveland. Not so much because of the people in charge, but because of the people who live there. And because I think we all know that the city of Cleveland can be very good. And it could go from good to great, and so on and so forth. It would take time, obviously, because we didn't get into this hole overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight. That's the main thing to remember here. But we're talking about flock cameras, and the reason why is because the contract that the city had with the flock cameras, it runs out at the end of this month. And it sounds like they're going, nah. They actually rejected the contract extension. Now, Cleveland police have come out and they said, well, we use this. This is something that we use, and it actually saves a lot of money in labor. We use it about 12,000 times a month. And yes, it does solve crimes. And listen, I'm not taking away from that. I believe police should have all the technology possible, but I also believe that they should have all the support possible. And I don't trust AI, and I don't trust camera systems to bring that support. What I mean is, they need to be out there. They need to know that when they're out there on the streets, they have support, whether it's from another person, whether it's from another unit, another car, whatever it may be. They need to know that they have the protection that they deserve. Because as I said before the break, this is all going to come together, and it's simple. This is the problem. When you sit there and you say things like cops or criminals, people immediately, they get triggered and they get real mad. So I'm just going to keep this real simple. Why are you making it harder for the good guys to catch the bad guys? And NOWACA, while NOWACA might not have the power to make sure that these flock cameras get installed everywhere, and I don't want to imply that they do. In that last segment, I may have implied that, and I don't want to do that. So I want to correct myself if I implied that to anyone. But pressure, and what do I mean by that? Well, because Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, they own majority of the votes when it comes to this. And so, we talked about it the other day with that 50-mile radius right there around, I was going to say Cleveland Brown Stadium, the new one, which kind of, but Cleveland Hopkins Airport, that 50-mile radius that they want to build out. And this is the whole 15-minute cities. Because I'll tell you, in a 15-minute city, I don't know how easy it is for a police officer to get in and out. Because, see, here's the thing. When I hear 15-minute city, I'm assuming that the roads are going to be sidewalks. They're going to have the little banisters and all that up in front. And they're not going to be able to get cars down there. You might be able to get a bike, maybe a horse. But to the horses, they say nay. And the reason why it's so goofy to me, because I don't understand it. I don't get it. It doesn't click to me. I can't understand how you would want to take away roads, by the way, roads that you spent so much money building throughout the years. Infrastructure. Like, you want to talk about infrastructure. What's more important to a city than roads? Good roads to drive on. And now you want to take them away and you want to make them walkways? What are we talking about here? What are we doing here? So, they put these flock cameras up. They do all this different stuff. We're going to see a pressure put on it. Now, I give the city of Cleveland credit, and I'm probably in a week or so, let's see, the 29th, probably in about a week and a half, I'm going to take that credit away, and I'll tell you why. So you don't call me wishy-washy. I'm going to call myself out on it now. They're going to take these away, but they're not going to give. They are not going to give the police what they need. The reason why this became political a little bit, or at least they tried to make it that, is because they said that it's being used to catch illegal immigrants, which, like I said, bad things can have benefits. You can look at something and go, wow, that's a good thing. And that is a good thing. But couldn't you say the same if police were allowed to do their job? If police had that funding? If police had the support from City Hall? If police had the support from the mayor? The same mayor that ran on the issue of defunding the police, but they wouldn't call it defunding the police. Well, at that point they did, to be fair. That was right. That was in 21. So they called it defunding the police. But I ask the question again. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have cameras. It doesn't matter if you have drones. You could have force fields up around the city. If the good guys can't do their job to catch bad guys, how do you expect things to be okay? Like I said, I'm not going to use cops or criminal because people get real mad. And listen, ask people that. How do you expect, if the good guys can't do their job, that the bad guys will go away? There's no way that they can. It doesn't make any sense. One balances out the other. One cancels out the other.
And what happens when the technology fails?
Well, yeah, and that's just it. So, are each one of these and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but Kenny brings up a good point. Do these have little batteries in them? Can they last a week or two at a time? Because if we start putting AI data centers in here, get ready for the rolling brownouts like in California.
Well, you see it in movies and TVs. What's the first thing they do? Take out the cameras.
Yeah, and people are nuts in general. They're nuts. The only people don't care about cameras. Maybe 20, 30 years ago they cared about cameras, but guess what? They don't care because they carry them in their pockets now.
They're everywhere.
They don't care about cameras. They're so accustomed to it. Think about some of the things that people put on their social media. Think about some of the videos and the pictures that they put out there. People aren't scared of cameras. They're used to them. It's part of everyday life now. So it's not intimidating to people, especially criminals that already don't care. You think they're going to care about a camera? You think that's going to be the thing that makes them go, oh, I can't do it. There's a camera there. Not at all. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Christine Russo. As I said, I sat down with her earlier this week. It was a great phone call. It really was. She gave kind of like, how things are going since the documentary and the work that she's doing. Like I said, legislation. She's working on a foundation. She's working on a fundraiser. All in all, it's incredible what she's doing, and you're going to find out more about it when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
headlines matter, but what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free when you search the Jake Underwood Show on Rumble. And we have joining us now, you know her from, you've seen her in the documentary on Netflix, The Crash, with the tragic accident that happened in Strongsville. She lost her brother Dominic, and we're gonna speak to her about that, as well as Dom and Davian's Law. There's a fundraiser coming up, and she's really getting involved, trying to do the right things. And I appreciate when people do that. So the least I could do is try to bring some attention to it. Christine, thank you for making time for us today.
Thanks for having me, Jake.
And so let me ask you, I don't want to talk too much about the documentary because I think a lot of people, they've seen it, they know about it. But I do want to ask, as millions of people, they've now heard Dominic's story. What's the response been since the documentary came out on Netflix?
I honestly, I didn't expect so much support and love and people sharing similar stories. I really have felt like all of us have felt, I guess, alone, I guess, in this. I didn't think that you would be surprised how many people that very, very similar situations that this has happened to, eerily similar. So I was very surprised at the support and the love and all the good, I guess. It's tons of people that, tens of thousands of messages of support. Wow. So I've been very, very surprised with that, but it's been nice.
For the listeners that, they'll know Dominic from the headlines and what they saw in the documentary, who was Dominic Russo and what do you want people to remember about him?
Well, Dom was my little brother. We had a really close, we're Italian, really close family. He was kind, he was caring, he was so important to so many people. He had his whole life in front of him that was stolen, unfortunately. But yeah, it's hurt us really, really, really badly beyond words. I can't even put into words how terrible this has been on us, but he was just, really important. He was our piece to the puzzle, that'll be missing forever. And he was a great uncle, a great brother. He was funny. He was kind. He was caring. He was giving, fun to be around. He was fun, but yeah, we miss him a lot.
So Christine, I have to give you credit because a lot of people, when things like this happen, they kind of just sink down and, they get closed off. Not you. You're seeing this as an opportunity to, get involved. And one of the things that you're getting involved with is the Dom and Davian's Law. What is that law and why is it so important for you?
Well, it started about, we've been dealing with this for about 4 years. Okay. With my brother's murderer getting attention. There's been shows, this has been covered on the news and things like that. Not as big, obviously, with Netflix now, never before like this. But so it's been something that I felt for a long time, because that's all that my brother's murderer ever wanted was attention. And it matters so much to her, the Instagram attention, making TikToks. And the biggest thing is, I always say, she laid in the hospital bed hours, not days, within hours, maybe 12 hours, something like that. I'm not sure this amount, but posting TikToks, making TikToks and trying to get modeling gigs on Instagram after killing 2 young men within hours is shooting TikToks and on Instagram. It's twisted. And then I started seeing, after this movie came out, her family, her supporters, her friends raising funds for her, crowdfunding, social media is being ran by the family, donations to her commissary so she can make phone calls, all types of stuff. And I woke up one day and was like, I can't, I don't know how I would feel or how we would feel if she gets out of jail one day. Because, she only got 15 to life. She has a possibility of parole. So God forbid she ever gets out and she becomes, an Instagram influencer and making all this money off of killing my brother. I just couldn't deal with that. So I was like, we need to stop this. Like there has to be. And then I started looking and I was like, wow, the Son of Sam's that protects violent criminals from profiting off their crimes. It was written in the 70s and enacted in the 90s, and it's completely outdated. It only covers journalism, books, and movies. So it doesn't even touch on the digital era. Social media isn't involved, the internet, GoFundMe's, anything like that is not written into law. So if we don't stop it, then she'd have the opportunity to profit off of killing my brother, and we can't let that happen.
Where does it stand now? It's an Ohio law, correct?
It is in Ohio. There's other states that have the Son of Sam's as well. I'm not sure what ones, but Ohio's is the Son of Sam's. There is a bill right now that I think the House just passed. It's called House Bill 505, and it's pretty much the same idea, and it's more of covers the crowdfunding. But we are looking to maybe we're supposed to be in touch with the Senate soon. I already talked to the House reps. We're going to talk to the Senate and meet with them and testify and things like that, and see what kind of amendments that we can make to that to cover even more and figure out more loopholes, because there's been a lot going on just with my brother's murderer. And people all over have been messaging me that the same thing has happened to them with their loved ones being killed or hurt. And their persecutor, whatever, is out being a podcaster now.
Wow.
Things like that. So many people. I was so surprised. I thought we were all alone. That is not the case. There's so many people out there that this will affect.
When it comes to this, what do you hope lawmakers and like the public, what do you hope they better understand about the long-term impact of these tragedies and what the effects that it has on the victims' families?
I really hope that they understand. I don't know if you can understand how this feels unless you're in our shoes or in a similar situation. I always said, like, I couldn't imagine if, my brother died or my sister, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine. And then it happened and it's like, oh, this is how this feels. This is it's unbearable. And then to have somebody think that they're going to get rich off of it or famous from it, and not be punished in jail. Right now, she's not being punished. She's in a medium security with commissary, with all this money being funneled into her. She's living lavishly. I've spoken to the girls in prison with her. I have proof of most of it. And she's living an okay lifestyle. And it's like she's not even being punished for murdering not only my brother, but Davion as well. And it's infuriating. It's very, very upsetting.
And you said
so. I really hope that they can feel that from us when we talk to them.
And you said that was House Bill 505?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure that we keep an eye on that. I have a legislation tracker on the website. So we'll make sure we keep an eye on that. I want to switch it up a little bit. And I want to ask you about the Change the Game for Dom Foundation. So you've helped launch this foundation. What's the mission? What are you trying to do with this organization?
So I'm really excited about this one, actually. This one here's what I want to do. I want to, backstory is basketball was huge for my brother and my family. I went to all his games, wouldn't miss anything of his, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're that close. And then when my son was born, I would pick up Dom on the weekends. We would turn the bedroom into a basketball court and we'd have fun with my son. It was just a big part of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, our story. And so I was thinking my dad obviously lost his son and, is not taking this well at all, as you could imagine if you have kids. And every day I struggle with trying to find a way on how to make my family feel better, especially my dad, like how nothing will make him feel better. Nobody will replace Dom. There's nothing, and nothing will ever make this feel like better at all. But I'm always looking for ways to maybe make him feel better for the day, and so I was like, you know what, I want to start a foundation because my dad's a very caring, we all are, but my dad especially, very caring, very giving person, and he loves that. So I was like, I'm going to start a foundation, and what I want to do is find underprivileged kids, hopefully like whole teams in like maybe a bad area or something, and people that can't afford, or these kids that can't afford their league fees or tournaments and things like that. Because my son plays in leagues that I know kids can't afford, and I've helped out sometimes with them. But I want to end up sponsoring like whole teams and providing them with custom Dom shoes, socks, gym bags. I want to do it with Nike, like do some kind of collaboration because you can design all this stuff with Nike
Right.
and just pay to have the Nike logo, you know. But I want to sponsor them and then have the whole team with like Dom jerseys and like in loving memory, something nice and burgundy because that was his color, and then like have Dom written somewhere. So that's what I want to do and do that as often as possible.
That's awesome. That's actually that's really cool, and that's wow. Yeah, that's a great way to give back. And another way that I hope people are able to give back is you have this fundraiser coming up. It's on June 27th. It's at the Tavern 150 in Brook Park. Can you tell us about this event and what inspired you to put this together?
This has been really, really rough, especially the Netflix movie coming out. This has been there's been a lot of support, a lot of positivity, but there's been a lot of negativity. And it's been a struggle, especially for my dad, who sits there and reads all the comments, and you wouldn't believe some of the things that are being said, even though they're internet trolls and probably bots, just set out to make people upset. He doesn't get that. So, I was like, it might be time for like to have a little fun with this. And I was talking to my cousin Justina, and she was like, let's put on an event and we'll fundraise for the foundation. We'll raise awareness for the petition, also host like an event and go live and make it kind of fun. All you can eat, all you can drink. There's so many baskets. The Cosmetic Surgery Center from they're in Independence. They just donated like a $3,000 basket to the thing. I'm super excited about the baskets.
Oh, wow,
really
okay.
excited. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we get to raise awareness. And for domestic violence awareness, that's another thing I'm working on is I want to go high school to high school doing trainings, putting on trainings at high schools to give the warning signs for teens for domestic violence and like red flags and toxic, just spread awareness on toxic relationships and what to look for and what to run from, basically. And that's another thing. We'll be raising awareness, and I'll be donating to some of the funds to some domestic violence awareness projects as well.
For listeners that want to attend, donate, or even get involved, what's the best way for them to help?
They can contact they can find me on any of my social medias, The Big Sister Unhinged. I have a podcast. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not sure. It's janetrades.com is where you can get your tickets under the current events section, or you can find us on social media and get a ticket that way. If they want to donate a basket, we would love that. We are putting a huge, we'll be going over obviously all the sponsors and then having them pictured while I go live there and things like that. But if they want to donate, they can contact us on social media, or the Big Sister Unhinged at outlook.com is my email. And we're looking forward to trying to have a good time, at the same time as getting awareness out and things like that. So
I'll actually post the event link on our show Facebook page. So look up the Jake Underwood Show, and I'll put it on there for the listeners if they want to find out some more information or get involved. Christine, before I let you go, the last thing I want to ask you, after everything that you've been through, and it's been a lot, what keeps you motivated to continue this work?
I just really miss my brother, and things are really bad, without him. So the only other option I had was to do nothing, and I wasn't going to do that. So we've done that for like 4 years. So I wasn't going to sit back any longer. I figured I'd use these opportunities to do some good, and make myself feel better, make the family feel a little better, hopefully continue on Dom's legacy in a positive light. I really did it also to like stop the spread of misinformation. But that's all I do. I just keep going because I just really miss my brother.
Christine, looking forward to the fundraiser. I'm going to try to be there.
That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're try to get as many people as we can out there, and I want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
And great to meet you as well. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about this a little bit more. We're going to if it's not posted already, actually, I'm going to do it during the break. I'm going to go ahead and post the ticket link to make sure that you have all the information that you need there if you want to attend, and just share it with some people who may want to attend. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Hey, this is Jake Underwood here with Bill Gardner from Empire Window Company. When it comes to your rating as a company, there's really nobody better than you, and that comes from customer reviews. What do you think sticks out to the customers the most about your service at Empire Window Company?
Well, a few things. We're not a home improvement company that offers fences and decks and this and that. We specialize in window siding and doors. So if you call us out for windows, you're going to get a window installer. You call us out for siding, you're going to get a siding installer. We do what we say we're going to do. We give a great product, we give a fair price, we stand behind what we do, and once again, our ratings reflect that. And we're right in your backyard. I mean, ask a friend or family member. Chances are we've done work for someone you know.
And you brought up siding and gutters, and right now you're currently offering 50% off siding plus free gutters.
And 2 years, no interest, no payments. So it's really a great time to reach out for windows and siding.
Call 855-76-EMPIRE. That's 855-76-EMPIRE, or visit EmpireWindowCompany.com. Empire Window Company, you deserve a fair price.
Oh, yeah, there it is. What do you mean? That real first warm day in Cleveland. Man, the whole city wakes up.
And you feel it immediately.
Patios packed, windows down, Indians game on the radio, downtown buzzing, boats on the lake, jet skis flying around. Wallakadoodle, summer's back.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free on social media. You can watch us there, see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we're doing there. And a big thank you to Christine Russo. Man.
What a strong woman she is.
Yeah, no, like
wow.
Actually. Yeah, when we were doing that interview, which we might want to think about having people do interviews over Zoom more often, because that audio was crisp.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Yeah, it did. But like she was her kid, or, her son's playing football. She was at like football practice. I'm just like, hey, you got time? She's like, yeah. Then we started talking and everything. But that's the perfect example of just there's a tragedy, and you can either get stuck in it or you could turn around and you could do, you can make something out of it. And I just want to remind people of that fundraiser. It is to bring awareness to Dom and Davian's Law and for the Change the Game for Dom Foundation, which even that, that's a great idea. Go to these neighborhoods where people are, kids might not have money, or parents might not have the money to get new shoes, get nice jerseys, get the teams what they need, so they get involved with that. That's huge. That's absolutely incredible. I did post that information on the Jake Underwood Show Facebook page. If you want to go there, if you could share it, get some awareness out about it. That event, it's going to be June 27th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's at Tavern 150, and it's $40 a ticket. Beer and well are included in that, and it's all you can eat.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Right.
That's even without helping people out, that's a great thing.
Right.
Like, that's fantastic.
That's pretty good.
And the plus that you get to help out, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So what is that? The 27th. Is that a Friday? It's a Saturday.
And what time is that?
3 to 6. I'd be doing that. Like I said, I'm going to try to make it out there. But yeah, just the fact that, and we've talked about this with Max Miller, Congressman Max Miller, a few times when he's been on, just how some of these laws, because they were made however many years ago, how they're not really up to, they kind of have to be reviewed. It is crazy to think that. She put it perfectly. She said, the person that murdered her brother, the fact that she could get out and she could start a podcast, make a bunch of money, just all this, that's crazy to think about. It really is. That would be the equivalent of like Charles Manson gets out.
15 years is a long time, but is it really that long?
Yeah.
Is it really that long?
Right. Like,
my daughter's 15. So it's like,
yeah,
that just these last 15 years just blew by.
It's
insane.
Yeah, it goes quick. Now, with that said, she's eligible for parole. It doesn't mean that she'd get out, but there's still that chance that she could.
Possibility.
And you're telling me that she could get out and she can make money off of this? Mm-hmm. Like, what are we doing? And if you watch the documentary, they really went in depth about how social media, it's the followers. It's all of that. That's what they're all about. And it was days after, and Christine talked about it in the interview. It was just days after that she was posting things on social media. They go in depth with it in the documentary about how people were replying from Mackenzie's account, reaching out to these people that are like, oh, we should do a brand deal, and they're a few days after, the people aren't even they weren't even buried yet.
Yeah.
And they're already replying to things about brand deals and stuff. Like, it was absolutely crazy. It really is crazy. But, like I said, this is one of those examples of you could either get caught in it, or you could look at it and go, this really sucks, but I'm going to make sure, one, this doesn't happen to anybody else, and we're going to make sure people remember what happened, and it won't necessarily what happened will be a negative. But the results with the way that you can help with the foundation and updating that law, it's gonna help so many people to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again, and that's huge. That is a big deal. So yeah, once again, that's June 27th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Tavern 150, $40 a ticket, and more information can be found at the Jake Underwood Show Facebook page that's posted there. So go there, and if you feel so inclined, give us a like, give us a follow. Stay up to date on the stuff that we're talking about here. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a Missouri senator, he's not too happy about the MLB right now and what they did to a San Francisco Giants player. We're going to tell you what that is when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or feel free to watch. You'll see some behind the scenes on YouTube, Rumble, and X. We're talking about Josh Hawley out there in Missouri.
I love Josh.
Oh, man.
There's some, and it's tough, because they are politicians and stuff, but some of them just get things done, and some of them don't. And the ones that get things done, we've got to highlight them.
Can I tell you, as good as his hair looks in videos, it's that good in person.
Really?
Yeah.
It does look immaculate.
There was it's so funny because every time I hear him, I think of this. We were at was it Jay Bhattacharya's confirmation hearing, and he was on, it's in the Dirkston building, and we're sitting there, and we're there on behalf of Maha Action, and we're just watching, making sure everything's good. And he walked out, and I'm sitting next to a coworker of mine. We're both on the legislation team, and she goes, "Wow, he's got that senator hair." And I go, "Yeah, no, he does." And she's like, "It's just so perfect. I want to touch it, but I know I'm not allowed." I'm like, "Yeah, I can't have hair like that. As much as I would love to have hair like that, it ain't happening."
No.
I mean, he looks the part of a senator. Like when you think of like stereotypical Republican senator, he's the one that pops into mind, and he's a family man. And if you hadn't heard, it's Pride Month.
Huh?
Huh?
Are we still doing that?
Yeah, no, we're still doing that.
No, we're not.
Well,
I'm not doing that.
Well, some people are, and the MLB is one of the companies that are doing it. And the San Francisco, I almost said 49ers, the San Francisco Giants, they had their Pride Night. And, this is where, listen, at this point, people haven't figured it out yet. It's all for, money, which, it's so funny that usually the people that would celebrate something like Pride Month are against corporations and capitalism because it's evil. And at the same time, they'll go out and they'll buy the rainbow hat and the rainbow jersey and the rainbow pants and the rainbow socks and the rainbow shoes, the rainbow glass and the rainbow beards and the rainbow. So they're all about it, and they spend all their money. So they go out there, and some of them have a lot of clothes on that have rainbows, and some don't, and that's where people have a problem with the parades. Just saying, but the issue is that a lot of people feel like it's being shoved down their throats, especially at a Pride Night for a baseball game. Now, they're doing it to make money. They could say whatever they want about the reasons why they're doing it. They're doing it to make that extra cash, and that's what it was all about. So, some of the Giants players took it upon themselves to express themselves on a night about expression. And what they did was they wrote a Genesis Bible verse on the hat next to the rainbow. Now, the Bible verse that they are referring to, it's Genesis 9:12 through 16, which is basically God's promise to Noah about the rainbow.
The end of the flood.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that.
What the rainbow actually stands for.
And I say nothing wrong with that, or so we thought, because people were outraged. Oh, my goodness, this is crazy. And the MLB got mad and basically told players not allowed to do that. I don't know that there's been any discipline with it, but it's just a lot of the press.
I think there was a stern warning.
Yes.
And there may have been, implications that discipline could come.
Right. So Senator Hawley took it upon himself because, you know what? I'm writing a letter. To Rob Manfred.
Mm-hmm.
And get ready because he makes a lot of good points. So people are going to be mad. He says he doesn't understand. Basically, this letter, it's like 2-3 pages, so I'm not going to sit here and read it word from word. But basically what he's saying is, I don't understand why they're not able to do that when you sat there and you encouraged people, not only for Pride, but they had BLM, they had Black Lives Matter, they had United for Change messaging, and not to mention every sponsorship they can ever think of on a jersey. My goodness. So he's kind of calling them out on it. He's like, this isn't right. You can't do this. First of all, it's their right in this country with religious freedoms to express their religion the way that they see fit. So they're allowed to do it. And at the same time, you can't sit there and go, well, we're a private business and we won't allow that. And then allow people to express things that are maybe viewed as the opposite side of things. Right? You can't, the same way that you can't have righties going around just doing right-wing things and tell the lefties no, insert bakery here, if you want an example. It's the same way that you can't have people that are left-wing doing whatever they want to do because they feel that it's their right or, that's the exciting thing in the moment, so then they're going to do whatever they want to do. You can't have it both ways. Here's the thing. If you let one side do it, you got to let the other side do it. That's a part of the Constitution. That's one of our rights that this country's built on. So, you could sit there and you can act like, you can grandstand all you want. But if you're going to let one side speak, you got to let the other side speak. That's just the way that it works. That's just the way that it is. So now the senator he's demanding and he's asking the MLB to provide the exact uniform rule used to warn the Giants player, every similar disciplinary action taken under that rule over the past 5 seasons, policies regarding religious expressions by players. Now, remind you, this also comes, the story isn't complete yet, but James O'Keefe, he recently had a sit down, he does the undercover journalism stuff, and basically the way that he gets information, and it's very smart, is he has very attractive women go up to these frumpy front office people, whether it be at a company like the New York Post or New York Times, I should say, or the Washington Nationals. These attractive women, they flirt, and to try to seem cool, they sit there and they brag about things. One of the things that somebody in the Nationals front office was bragging about was the fact that they were shutting down people who were Christian. They were bragging about it. They were sitting there, frumpy dude sitting there drinking wine or something. He looks like Jerry Nadler. His gut hangs over his knees. No offense to anybody whose gut hangs over their knees, but and it's this. I'm going to be braggadocious to sit here and try to get the attention of this woman who is attractive sitting in front of me. That's the way that he does it. And look, it works. It works. So this came out, and then now we have the stuff with the Giants. So now Josh Hawley's going, I've seen it one place, I've seen it in one organization, and now I'm seeing it again in the other. I need to see the rules. I need to see the things that these people are violating, that they're getting in trouble. So yeah, not only is he demanding the exact uniform rule that was used to warn the Giants players, but also other times that this rule was used. He also wants policies regarding religious expression by players and policies concerning Pride Night participation and whether players face consequences for declining, and documentation showing how the MLB approved messages such as BLM and other social justice slogans. I think that's completely fair. Yeah, now, I do see some people losing their minds about it. So be it. Lose your mind. Go crazy. But, like I said, you can't allow one side to do it. And then when the other side decides that they want to buck back a little bit and they also want representation, you can't tell them no. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And just because you're trying to make jersey sales and everything, and that might upset people, and that's what they're upset about. That's what the MLB doesn't want. It affects their bottom dollar. It affects people buying things, or so they think, and that's why they're mad about it.
But they're not worried about upsetting Christians.
Oh, no, they don't care about that.
This is the same organization that had tranny nuns highlighted the one time.
That's true. That is true.
Same organization.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, no, I forgot all about that. So, this is where the problem comes in, and this is what I hope that there's a hearing about this, because I want to hear this question asked. So if the MLB is going to allow political and social justice messages, why is the line drawn when it comes to Christian faith messaging? What are you scared of there? What does that get in the way of? Because look, listen, I'm sure if you put out a San Francisco Giants hat or even a Cleveland Guardians hat that had a cross on it and a John 3:16 or a verse on it, I might buy that. Mm-hmm. Or if it's a shirt, I might buy that. There's a good chance that I do. That would be really cool.
Or put a Star of David on it,
right,
something from the Torah,
right,
something, whatever.
Any religion insert here.
If you're going to do it.
Yeah, by all means, listen. Now, if they're listening and they hear that idea, they just got real excited. They're like, ooh, more money we can't spend on cap. So they're really excited about this. But so now you have to wonder, where's that line drawn and who put that line in place? Because you can't have it okay for one side and not the other. We say life isn't fair, but the law for the most part is. The rules that are written here for the most part are, as long as you follow them. Life's not fair usually when people don't follow the rules, when they don't follow the laws. The laws are put there to make it as fair as possible. So why is it okay for one side and not the other? We need to take a break. We'll talk about this some more when we come back, and as well as we'll put a bow on the show. Final segment coming up right here, The Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the final segment of the Jake Underwood Show right here on this Thursday. Right?
Yeah, it's Thursday,
Yes.
my dude.
Thursday, my dudes. That's right. This Thursday, June 18th edition of the Jake Underwood Show, right here, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM, or on your social media. You can go there, watch it live, see some of the behind the scenes, watch how Kenny and I giggle, because usually like something dumb is said during the break, and then we come back and we get real serious. So it does happen. It does happen. You know, there are times where it carries over, and we appreciate your patience. But we're talking about Josh Hawley and how he's kind of standing up to it. You know, this goes back to, you know, what I said earlier in the show about, you know, Graham Plattner. You know, we have to call it out when we see it. We really do. I mean, the MLB stuff, I mean, that is ridiculous. And this isn't an anti-pride thing. It's nothing like that. It's ridiculous on just the simple. It's just ridiculous because you're censoring people and you're allowing others to say what they want. You can't do that. You know, the freedom of speech, it's there not only to protect the speech you like, but also the speech you hate. And we forget that. You know, are you strong enough? Do you believe in the rights enough and freedom of speech to actually allow what people that you disagree with? Or do you believe in that right enough to let them speak, to let them express themselves, to let them write the Bible verse next to the rainbow on the hat? Because we can protect. It's easy to protect the speech that we like. It's harder to protect the speech that we disagree with. That's why it's there. That's why freedom of speech is so important, not for the ones that agree. It's for the ones who disagree. It's for the disruptors that go in there and they start to call things out. Because you weren't allowed to call things out. That was the whole purpose in coming here and starting this. One of the purposes.
Well, and it's a both sides issue, though, too.
Yes.
I mean, let's not pretend that it's not. But one thing that always seems to hold true is that the party of tolerance is the most intolerant bunch of hypocrites that you've ever met. Every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they preach tolerance unless you disagree with them. Then they won't tolerate it.
Yeah, and that's the part that is forgotten when it comes to the freedom of speech. And Triv used to always play that clip from that Michael Douglas movie, The President of the United States, but where he would say that. How much do you believe in the freedom of speech? Do you believe in it so much to allow the people who disagree with you to say what they want to say? I believe in that. Mm-hmm. I believe in it that much. Say what you need to say. Let's have the discussion. Let's talk about it. But you have to be willing to do that. That is the definition of freedom of speech. Not only to hear what you agree with, but to hear what you disagree with. Somebody texted in and said, oh boy, another station that's usually conservative has a token lib who says that the major leagues have always had rules against putting writing on uniforms. The man from Youngstown, and I will he's saying that he will also miss Schwabel's Jewish rye bread. Cites his experience as a former minor league radio broadcaster. What do you think? They have a lot of rules. I mean, what that doesn't make any sense to me. You can't write on your uniform? That I don't know that that's, it might very well be true, but also the minor leagues are completely different than the major leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the promotions and everything else that they run.
Look at the hijinks they do.
Yeah, like and
it's fun, but it's insane. It takes away from the game, but
right.
It's still fun.
Well, and you know, to that point, I say, and the NFL has rules against celebrations. Meanwhile, if there's a sack, you got 23 and a half people running down to the end zone to dance in front of a camera. What are we talking about here? Yeah, like they practice that throughout the week instead of practicing how to catch balls and win games. Go Browns. Like, what are we talking about here? Now, to that, I don't.
Now, if your employer, and that's what this is, if your employer is forcing you to wear something that contradicts your core beliefs, you have an obligation to try to correct that.
See, the same way, and I mean this, the same way that if on the 4th of July, they make everybody wear red, white, and blue, and if somebody just does not like what the country's doing and they decide that they don't want to wear it or they want to write something on the hat, I might disagree with it, but they have the right to do it. They have the right to do it.
Or if nothing else, just wear your normal uniform.
Right. But still, if they want to write it there, they have the right to do that. That's what's being missed here. They have the right to do that the same way we have the right to do that. You have a right to stand up and stand on your opinion and have your voice echo as far as you want it to, no matter how wrong you may be to the people who disagree with you. You have the right to do that. We can't just take rights away because it's not convenient for us in the moment because we might not agree with it. For instance, if somebody who is stupid enough to go out there and let's say they want to sew an Iranian flag onto the side of their hat. I don't agree with it, but they have the right to do it. It doesn't mean that we sit here and we shut people down because of it. Absolutely not. And corporations don't have the right to do it either when they're sitting there and they're telling you that you have to do something and you want to stand against it. Just because your job has a rule does not mean that it trumps the Constitution. Never, ever, 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 ever. No, not at all. But that freedom of speech, it's not just for the ones you agree with. It's for the ones you disagree with. We've forgotten that. We have completely forgotten that. As a country, we've forgotten that to the point that people get shot because they disagree with things that are mainstream. To the point that they get threats because they disagree with things that are mainstream. If you believe in the First Amendment that much, then you agree that then if you support it and you believe in it, then you have to believe in it on both sides, in what you agree with and what you don't, because it's their right to say it. They're allowed to be as wrong as they want to be. They're allowed to sound as dumb as they want to sound. That is their right as an American, and you know what? People fought for that right the same way they fought for the other ones. So we can't sit here and cherry pick. Oh, well, I agree with what this person's saying, so that's what I want. And then this is absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's how we get that. That's how things like the socialists, that's how things like big government, that's how they slowly start to take your rights away. Because they're going to sit there and they're going to go, well, we can't have this evil things being said. Like Graham Plattner, the guy's a jackass. He's allowed to be. He's allowed to be as stupid as he wants to be. It's his right. But you know what else is a right? Our right to call it out. Our right to tell him how wrong he is. Or Biden when he was doing his dumb stuff, wandering around, going God knows where. It's our right to call it out. And you know what? When we do something stupid, it's their right to call it out. We can't just sit here and decide to shut things down because we might not necessarily like it. We can't do that because someday the people in power won't like what we do or vice versa. And the same way we don't want to be shut down, they don't have to be shut down. You sit there, you have a discussion with somebody and you convince them and you tell them, you know, this is wrong and this is why. The truth is on our side. The truth has always been on our side, but we're scared to say it because we might be called a name. Screw that. We need to stop going with that. We have to stop being scared of words. They're words. The only power they carry are the power that you give it. That's it. That's all it ever will hold. What are we doing? How can we shut down whoever wants to say something? There are laws in place that if it goes too far, they're dealt with because there are rules to it. There are restrictions to it. You have the guardrails there. Before a corporation to tell you you can't say or do something? Come on. The Constitution was put in place for that exact reason. So governments and corporations and whoever, they can't tell you what to do. You have God-given rights as an American. Write whatever you want on your hat. Whether I agree or disagree with it, I stand by you because that's your right. Now, if you're wrong, I'll tell you how wrong you are. But I support you doing it. This has been the Jake Underwood Show. Thank you so much for listening, everybody who texted in. And if you watched on social media, thank you. We rolled it out today, something new. We'll continue to do that, and it'll get better as time goes on when you're watching the show. Tell someone about Jesus today, please. Give them some good news. There's a lot of negativity out there, so give them some good news. We'll be back tomorrow. Open Lines Ohio tomorrow. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. We'll see you then.